Hi everyone, my name is Carly and this is Mia. We are currently living in Tokyo for 6 weeks and today we are going to learn about Mia and her experience with EF Gap Year along with her current life living in the world's most populated city. So you started off your gap year in London, Amsterdam, Paris, and then did a language study in Barcelona. Tell me about your experience in Barcelona with learning another Spanish culture, living with a Spanish-speaking host family, and attending EF classes every day.
So I chose Barcelona because Spanish is my first language and it's spoken at home. So I found a comfort in knowing that I would be able to navigate the city better. However, despite knowing the language already, I still experience a culture shock because of how different Spain is compared to where my family's from. And although there was a little bit of challenges from time to time, like getting used to a host mom and navigating the city, ultimately it was a great experience because getting to know my host family was amazing. I got to learn about her family and her culture, and I even got to have dinners with her pretty much every night. And I loved attending classes and also meeting students from all around the world who also participate with EF. And overall, it was just an amazing experience.
You and I have both learned that food is a part of Tokyo's culture. Do you think that the sushi is truly incredible? What has been your favorite food this far?
Well, considering that sushi is probably one of my favorite foods, I would definitely say that the sushi here is incredible. It's definitely not what I was used to back at home, but it's amazing. And I would say probably my favorite food here besides sushi would be ramen. And I really have enjoyed going to different districts in Tokyo because it seems like each district has their own style of making the ramen, so it's been really interesting going around and trying out different ways that each district makes it.
Moving on to your experiences in Tokyo, what have been some of your favorite parts? How do you normally spend your days in the city?
So Tokyo has personally been one of my favorite cities thus far, and I feel like the main reason for that is the variety of things to see and do. For example, me and my friends love to come to places like these cool arcades and different animation themes because that's really popular here. I also really enjoy trying out different restaurants. Me and my friends love trying out different themed cafes. For example, last week we went to a Pokemon themed cafe and they had adorable Pokemon themed sweets that you should definitely try out. And I would also say that I love the fashion district here. I love Japanese fashion. I've personally always been interested in fashion since I was really young. So experiencing this new type of style has definitely been something I've enjoyed.
After 6 weeks in Barcelona, you traveled to 4 cities in Thailand. You performed service work and spent time in elephant sanctuaries, supported local environmental efforts with community-based mangrove conservation, participated in coral reef preparation and conservation on local Thai islands, and lastly, worked with a team to provide the communities with more accurate, successful food sources. Tell me about your favorite part of all of your service work. What part really resonated with you?
So I feel the part that really resonated with me was giving back to local communities. I felt beforehand that during my time in Barcelona, I was super focused on myself and everything in my life, and I felt like during my time in Thailand, I was able to give back and focus on someone else other than me. I feel like my favorite part was definitely when we worked with Track of the Tiger. I love this organization because not only did we learn through hands-on work and learning not only how we're doing it, but why we're doing it. I also loved working with the children every day, them being able to get involved as well, playing with them during our breaks, and just truly understanding and realizing why I'm doing what I'm doing. I also loved one day walking in and seeing an empty plot of land, 8 hours later seeing 8 vegetable beds that in 3 months from now will be growing vegetables that will be feeding the kids during lunch. And we have enough over time that they can sell in the local markets, that now all that profit goes back towards the school to keep building up from there.
With traveling comes missing home, lots of adjustments, and constant life as a foreigner. How have you been able to navigate traveling? What has been the most special part of building friendships through your travel?
So I think a big part of this is that before this trip, I think my idea around travel was a lot different than my idea around travel now. I think before I viewed it as more glamorous than it actually is sometimes. And while there's beautiful parts such as seeing new cities, exploring, and having new adventures, there's also not so glamorous side to it, such as missing friends and families back at home. Holidays especially were a little bit difficult this year. One of my favorite holidays is Thanksgiving, and I was a little worried about it because I wasn't going to be with my friends and family like I normally am. However, it ended up being one of the best Thanksgivings I've had yet. So this Thanksgiving I was in Thailand and we were working with Track of the Tiger. And this day we went to this elementary school and we built vegetable beds all day, and it was hard work, don't get me wrong, but it was definitely rewarding at the end, hanging out with the children and seeing what we accomplished in those few hours. And in that moment I felt so grateful to be able to provide and do these types of service and give back to communities. And we played with the children and had a great time. And towards the end, I was happy with just that. But to my surprise, they actually had a whole dinner planned just for us. And it was truly a special experience. And I remember sitting around the table with my friends, and we went around and we all said something we were grateful for. And although it wasn't what I traditionally do every year, it was truly incredible and probably something I'll remember for the rest of my life. And I remember looking around, and these people that I once considered my friends a few weeks ago, over the course of these couple weeks, have now turned into my family. And I'm beyond grateful to be able to experience this with them. And it's something that I'll always cherish.
And lastly, what do you think has most surprised you while living in Tokyo?
So I think the part that's mostly surprised me about living in Tokyo has been how big the city truly is. I mean, before this trip, I think the biggest city I've ever been to has been New York. But now living in Tokyo, I see that New York, in my opinion, does not even compare to Tokyo. The population here is insane. There's people everywhere, and there's so much to see and do. And while this can be a little bit overwhelming and challenging at times, I am so grateful for this experience and being able to see the city in my lifetime. And I think that that's been something that I've overall just enjoyed learning and navigating. And I'm so grateful that I chose Tokyo through EF to explore.
And that was our last question for our interview with Mia. Thank you so much for letting us get to know more about your gap year and experience with EF.